H-I-J-K-L-M-N-O-P Q-R-S-T-U-N-D W-X-Y-and-Z. Now I know my ABC. Tell me what you think of me.
We think it's very nice to know your alphabet. And at New York's Great Bronx Zoo, A stands for A-N-D-Y, Andy. And here going to show him the animals in the zoo whose names begin with alphabet letters from A to Z. A is for Aoudad, a kind of wild sheep that lives on the hot, dry hills of northern Africa. B is for bear, and especially for the big white polar bears that live near the North Pole. They don't mind the heat at all. C comes next, and C stands for camel. Children ride on camels in the Bronx Zoo and have lots of fun. Next is the letter D, and D is for deer. This is a kind of deer called Père David's deer that used to live in China. What does E stand for? Why, E is for these playful young African elephants. Let's listen to them. F is the letter that stands for frog. Andy doesn't like frogs. He's getting out of there quick. G is for gibbon, a kind of ape that lives in Malaysia. Listen to its call. Here comes the letter H, and H stands for the hippopotamus of Central Africa. I stands for a very pretty bird, the scarlet ibis of South America. Jaguar begins with J, and that's our animal for this letter. Andy wants to see the jaguar. He'll like this one in the Bronx Zoo because it's gentle and friendly. What does K stand for, Andy? Why, K stands for the kangaroo that comes from Australia on the other side of the world. L stands for the African lion. Did you ever hear a lion roar? Listen. Next is M, and M is for marmoset, a kind of little monkey that lives in South America. In Andy's alphabet, N stands for Nyala, one of the pretty antelopes that live in Africa. O is for orangutan, and that's what Andy is, of course. We see you, Andy. P is for penguin, and that's another kind of bird that can't fly. There aren't many animals whose names begin with Q, but there's the quail, a bird that lives in the field. Next is R, and that's for rhinoceros that lives in Africa. S is for sea lion. Let's listen to it bark. In the Bronx Zoo, T is for tiger, and especially for this beautiful, gentle mother tiger who was born in the Bronx Zoo. U is for a very rare sort of bird, the umbrella bird that comes from South America. V is for another bird, the North African eared vulture. It isn't very pretty, is it? After V comes W, and that's for the wolf. There used to be lots of wolves in the United States. X is a hard letter to find an animal for, but these are Xenopus frogs. For the letter Y, we have the long-haired yak from Tibet. Everybody knows that Z stands for zebra, and that's the last letter in the alphabet. We've gone all around the Bronx Zoo looking at the animals from A to Z, and that's the end of Andy's animal alphabet. Andy says,
Q-R-S-T-U-N-D W-X-Y-and-Z. Now I know